You're listening to Greater Good Radio Hawaii. Please visit us online at greatergoodradio.com. Today's guest is Leahi Komer, the owner of Leahi Swim School.
Let's talk a little bit more about the community-related projects that you're working with, either nonprofits or things that the Leahi Swim School yourself are involved in.
Well, we are sponsors of the Opera Express for the Hawaii Opera Theater, and what that is it's opera brought into the schools. Where we work very closely with Roosevelt High School, they have a wonderful arts program. They also kind of revamp the operas for the elementary schools, and we do, among others, Alawai School and Aina School.
Is it adults doing opera, or is it children doing opera?
No, we send our crew out there, and they teach the kids to sing the chorus parts, and they bring in the lead singers, the one or two lead singers for the opera. But the kids do the sets and direction, and they know all the history about the opera that they're working on. It's really neat.
So you're finding that it's just exposing people to something they would not necessarily have been exposed to before.
Opera is really an acquired taste, and you have to kind of work at it to make it something that really lights you up. And with little kids, they love drama and they love crazy scripts and wonderful things like that. They're just into it. And if you expose them early to opera, and we're building our audience in Hawaii, and in 15, 20 years, they're going to be our patrons. They're going to be the ones supporting opera in Hawaii.
Are you finding that impacts your business at all?
I think that when you are in a business, that sometimes you do things, whether it impacts your business or not, it's just in the community, it's the right thing to do. One of the other things that we do is we support all of the schools that have auctions and fundraisers. And I don't know if I should say this on the air, but any school that has anything to do with kids, or any activity or nonprofit that has anything to do with kids, they ask me for swimming lessons for donation. I give it to them. So there's hundreds of those gift certificates out for a set of swimming lessons out there in the community. Every year I give out, lots.
Well, the interesting thing, if you talk about social entrepreneurship, is swimming lessons in general are kind of on that, you have a social mission as well.
Exactly.
Teaching kids to swim, making sure they can, protect themselves. Because isn't the largest or the most prevalent cause of child death drowning?
Yes, under the age of 14. I think it's the second leading cause of death, and the first one being car accidents. So
but
it's
maybe
up
preventable
there.
Type.
Absolutely
I would think preventable
preventable.
Type probably maybe higher.
75% of kids who drown are being quote unquote supervised. They're being watched by a parent or an uncle or an auntie. And it's very unfortunate because everybody thinks everybody's watching the kids and nobody's watching the kids. So what we have at our swim school, we have this little tag that you wear around your neck on a little lanyard, and it's a water watcher tag. And what it says on the tag is you give it to the person who is in charge of watching the kids. And if I'm in charge of watching these kids, I'm wearing the tag. And when I have to go answer the phone or go to the bathroom or whatever, I hand the tag over to someone else who reads all the little steps in watching the kids and being watched for certain activities that could be dangerous and stuff like that. It's wonderful because then it puts one person on task.
And you have a system at least in place so they know
system.
What to do, like a standard operating procedure more or less.
Exactly. So if you have a pool party or you're at the beach, some adult is really watching.
Do you think it's more difficult for the adults to learn to swim, or?
It is, because usually they've got, 20, 30, 40 years of fear built up, What we do at our pool, and this is something my son is instigating. This is his baby. He took a course on the mainland, which specifically addresses the fear factor of learning to swim. Because what was happening in the past, we'd get our adults in, we'd teach them to swim from point A to point B, and they'd get up, they'd end the session, and they could quote unquote swim, but they're still freaked out. So my son took this course where you address the fear first, and learning to swim comes naturally after it. So basically, everything is done within your complete comfort level. So you never advance to the next activity until you're completely comfortable. And sometimes with some of my students, that means that they're just standing in the pool for 15 or 20 minutes before they can submerge their shoulders. My son was telling me that in his training, there was a lady who would only take showers because she could not submerge herself in a bathtub. And at the end of the course, she was swimming and loving it too. And that's the key part, is having a great time swimming. We kind of put the kid part in it.
Thanks for joining us today on Greater Good Radio. For more information or a transcript of today's show, please visit us online at greatergoodradio.com. This is your host, Evan Leong and Carrie Leong, saying please join us next time for another episode of Greater Good Radio, Hawaii.